Have you been to every single Sandals and Beaches property and viewed every single room and suite in the whole portfolio? If so, go ahead and skip this video. It probably won't do any good for you. But if not, hey there, my name is 𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm the founder and CEO of Reliant Destinations and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏luxury.com. Sandals and Beaches Resorts is my life, and my team and I at Reliant Destinations, it's what we do full time. We help thousands of you every single year go and explore the beautiful Caribbean. And of course, we would love to help you plan your perfect trip to tropical paradise as well. When it comes to sandals and beaches, it can be a bit of a complicated product sometimes. And of course, that's where someone that has been to all the properties can come in use. And so today what we're going to do on this channel is I'm going to tell you a lot of my insights about sandals and beaches. So if you're someone that is thinking to go to sandals, if you are someone that has already booked, or if you're someone even of course who you have been multiple times but are thinking about what else to see and how to maximize the value in the future, well, definitely give us a listen here in this video and we'll see if we have something new for you. Before we jump in, a quick mention that there are 3 amazing tools on our website, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏luxury.com. So the first tool is there is a little quiz that allows you to answer a few questions and see which of the sandals or beaches properties is best suited for you. There is a second brand new tool, which is a value checker on the website, and that value checker allows you, if you are someone who has already booked, unfortunately, before contacting us, allows you to simply go and see if you have the best value. This of course is for our own clients of Reliant Destinations. This also works if you book just about anywhere else. And if you are someone that happened to book another travel advisor, that sort of thing, we're not going to poach them, but we will let you know if you have the best value and we'll refer you back to them with that information. And the third, but my favorite tool of all these tools, of course, is our brand new tool, 𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is the world's very first 24/7 sandals and beaches expert. It doesn't replace any of the complimentary services that we at Reliant Destinations provide, but instead it unlocks simply that extra tool at your fingertips. And for the client of Reliant Destinations, it of course allows you to access a huge array of information, but even for those of you who booked elsewhere, you can simply ask some questions on there and get some insights. So just know that this is an amazing tool and we definitely recommend you to try it. So of course that is 𝗏𝗏𝗏 on the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏luxury.com website. As someone who lives and breathes sandals and beaches and stays in tune with the pulse of the brands at every given moment, I've essentially downloaded my entire brain into 𝗏𝗏𝗏, and that's why it's been a personal passion project of mine. Speaking of passion, as we mentioned, if we can help you go to tropical paradise, we are there from the very start. Hello@Reliant Destinations is how you reach out. We always say if you aren't reaching out, you might be missing out, so make sure to do so. Again, that's hello@ReliantDestinations.com. But for now, let's go ahead and dive deep into this amazing video talking about all the wonderful things that you want to know, some top level facts when it comes to sandals and beaches. Let's go. Alright, so the very first thing to talk about is the fact that not all sandals and beaches are created equal. Yes, it is true. And of course, that's why we do have that special tool on our website, which of course allows you to answer some questions and see which of the properties are best suited for you. Every one of the properties has a very unique vibe to it. On the beaches side, for example, well, you have something as large as Beaches Turks and Caicos, which is a mammoth family resort there in the beautiful Turks and Caicos Island. But you also have Beaches and the Grill, which is a very skinny, fairly small family resort in comparison, that is. And so, of course, with sandals, the same situation. You have something that's very small and intimate, like Sandals World Plantation. And then just down the road from that, you have Sandals 𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is the largest sandals resort. You have sandals resorts which have more of a classical feel, like Sandals World Plantation we mentioned. And then you have properties like Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the newest sandals and beaches property as of the moment of this video, which has all the modernity part of it. So just know that not every resort is necessarily for everyone. For some people, yes it is. But for others who have a specific style they like or specific amenities they love or a must-eat restaurant, for example, it can be something where only certain properties are going to be well suited for your vacation. So that's one thing to definitely remember. Each property has its own personality, its own strengths, and what might be right for one couple or family might not be for the next. So of course, that's why you should find yourself a specialist, whether it's ourselves or any other Sandals and Beaches specialist. Find someone that knows this brand like the back of their hands and can help you, guide you through that process versus just shooting in the dark. The next thing I want to mention is that service and quality across the resorts is quite consistent. However, there are some deviations in some areas that are worth mentioning. Having worked exclusively alongside Sandals and Beaches Resorts now for many years at this point, one of the things that I'm very proud of the brand is that it is always working hard to really learn lessons. And the truth is, yes, some lessons are learned the hard way. And some of you who have been going to Sandals over and over the decades will have seen exactly what I mean, especially in recent years. So a few years ago, during the COVID era, the founder of Sandals, Gordon Butch Stewart, he sadly passed away. And to the helm came his son, Adam Stewart, a young entrepreneur who had grown up literally from a baby inside of the Sandals family and had used the opportunity growing up to really learn everything there was to know about Sandals and beaches. And so with this, the awesome thing that we've seen come out of this as he's been able to come in with a fresh new light. So a lot of the modern perspective and understanding where the modern world is headed, but also knowing what is at the core and the heart of the Sandals brand. The honest truth is when I first started promoting Sandals and Beaches, there were some properties that simply I had trouble promoting because they didn't align to my own quality standards. They had been great properties at one time, but it started to diminish in certain areas. Sometimes it was on a service area, often it was a quality of accommodation, things like that. I'll give you a great example. So when I first was ranking Sandals and Beaches Resorts, and I even did a blog about this, I recall when I first started with Sandals and Beaches, where I ranked from the very best to what I consider to be the worst. And at the very bottom, for example, I had Sandals Royal Bahamian in Nassau in the Bahamas. And this resort at that time, to me, had so many quality issues. And what we saw very quickly though, right, is this resort now is a fantastic resort. And does it still have some room for improvement? Yes, and those improvements are happening as we speak, but it's now a fantastic property. And this is what I've loved seeing with this new Sandals 2.0 concept that's been coined by the new chairman, of course, the son we talked about, Adam Stewart, who is now running the operations. And so the Sandals 2.0 is about taking things into the future. And so there's a huge focus on the experiential side of things. So instead of just going and having a hotel or even a resort experience that you might be able to get in Florida, for example, it's allowing you to go well above that, to actually feel the pulse of the island, the heartbeat of the Caribbean inside of those moments that you have in the properties. Whether that is making more authentic food options or having even something like the amazing new restaurant Boucan, which allows you to sit family style and sample all the local delicacies that you might not try otherwise. Or for example, converting things like the Oleander Room at Sandals Montego Bay, which used to be just a Caribbean restaurant where some people were scared to order whole entrees because they didn't know what it was. And now it's all tapas style where you can go and order a bunch of little things. And so it's a lot less risk to your taste buds of whether you might like something or not. So it allows you to sample with more freedom. I can go on and on and on. Excursions, pushing people outside the resorts for experiences. There are so many different amazing things across the brand now that are happening with Sandals 2.0. So not only is it those experiences, but it's so many other things. It's the room improvements, it's the addition of new dining, of new activities, new amenities, and of course is also taking the existing properties and it is having a relook at every single aspect of those and bringing in freshness and modernity and all the things that it's been proven that you, the guests of Sandals and Beaches, want. So those things, a lot of those have already happened and a lot more are happening as we speak. And as you can tell, I'm excited and always passionate about this. And that's something where that has led to a lot of trust from me to the brand and also from our clients as well. And that's why Sandals has one of the very highest repeat guest rates in the whole world for any brand. So yes, as I alluded to earlier, styles, they do vary massively right now. I would say that right now we have about half of the properties which are fully Sandals 2.0. Then from there we have about another quarter of the properties which are hybrid, so certain aspects have been fully Sandals 2.0 modernized, and then the other half is still in progress. Then we have a fourth which has had some touches to it, but it remains with some classical feel, and there is some intent to that as well. For example, guests that go to Sandals World Plantation, they love the intimate vibe there and the more classic historical feelings. That's something which is appreciated by the guests. And so while there are touches happening all around that, you're not going to see necessarily the same modernity just blasted across that property as you'll see at some of the newer, larger properties. I should also say that things change quickly, and this is where you want to make sure you have an accurate source of knowledge when it comes to things for Sandals and beaches, because if you go on Google and just start searching for things, you're going to get a lot of inaccurate information out there, whether it's a Reddit post from even 6 months ago that's already outdated, somebody's blog doesn't keep it updated, so on and so forth. There's a lot of misinformation about Sandals out there, so anyone that you want to work with is great, but I heavily suggest finding, of course, someone that you can partner with to help you with your Sandals Beaches vacations that doesn't just sell them, but actually goes there. And there are a lot of good, high-ranked travel professionals in North America who go all the time to these properties. For me personally, I try to visit every single property at least once a year. Many of them I visit multiple times a year. Same, I try to go and look at all the rooms and suites. Many of them we film and put on this channel, so you can have a look at that as well. But just seeing the changes, and it's amazing some of the changes that happen. For example, there's a room that I was recently filming that I filmed it 4 years in a row, and the 4 years in a row, each of the 4 years it had massive changes to now where this room is just stunning, and where it started out was just kind of middle of the road. So things happen quickly. Now, let me also say that this does come with what some people might call disruptions to the experience sometimes, but I would say that having seen a lot of different brands and having viewed how a lot of different other competitors out there do renovations, I would say that Sandals is probably the most discreet of these. And in general, I would say 99% of the time, the actual guest experience is not impacted. Typically when this happened, they put up large walls with beautiful like Caribbean artwork and things like that, where if you're just walking by, unless you had an elevated weird view on that for some reason, you wouldn't even know is happening there. There are a few weird things that can happen. For example, if you happen to have an odd positioned room with a particular view that might look over into some construction areas, something like that. If you happen to be impacted like that, which is extremely rare, and I'm talking, we have serviced thousands and thousands of clients. I think I can think of 3 times we ever had this happen, and all 3 of those times, the management, they took care of those guests so well. So don't ever suffer in silence. As I say, if you are someone that goes to these properties and you feel that in some way you're being disrupted by something happening with the improvements, of course, try to be understanding, but if there's something that simply is impacting your stay, raise it with management. They cannot help you unless they know that issue exists. And of course, for our clients as well, we definitely say loop us in on that, because we have a personal relationship with every single one of the managers and the whole executive team across all of the different resorts. And because of that, of course, they look out for our clients with priority. So make sure to let us know if there is, of course, an issue you're experiencing during a stay if you're one of our clients. We're always happy to help with that. But in general, I view this as a positive thing, because here's the thing. Resorts that aren't improving are resorts that get left behind. And this is something where Sandals was almost at a moment some years ago where we're starting to get left behind, and now a huge leap to catch up and is now leading the industry on a lot of these things. But I can look and see a lot of other resort brands, all-inclusive brands, even cruising brands that are out there right now that you can see that they are falling greatly behind. And those may not be immediately impacted right now, but those future experiences definitely will be. So just say that it is a really positive thing to go and see a resort that is actively improving things, because as they're actively improving, that means that they are putting all of their focus into making the stay as majestic as possible. And what I've seen with that as well is, for example, if a resort is taken out of service for refurbishment, typically some other culinary options, some really cool things sometimes pop up in the resort temporarily. And so that's something where you're not usually missing an amenity, you just have a substituted amenity in that case. But yeah, so I know I spoke for a bit on this topic, but it is an important topic just to know that Sandals has taken all of the feedback of all the guests, all the travel advisors and travel professionals across the industry, has taken all this to heart, and over the past years has been working diligently to implement all of these suggestions, all these recommendations. The next thing I want to mention is that foodies fare a bit differently at different properties. I say this as someone who is a foodie. Of course, there is no lack of food whatsoever, and if you are staying in a club or a butler elite room or suite at any of the resorts, of course you do have the ability to have room service as well. But in terms of the actual restaurant program, there are some resorts that simply just have less options, and typically it's because of size. Some great examples would be somewhere like Sandals Halcyon or Sandals World Plantation, which are very small resorts and of course therefore have much fewer culinary options. But in those instances as well, you have access to other resorts. Sandals World Plantation guests can also take a shuttle over to Sandals 𝗏𝗪, where you have over 16 culinary options available there. Or, someone in St. Lucia, that Halcyon I spoke of, there's a resort below them and above them that they can go to on the shuttle and have tons of culinary options. So it's something though, if you want a lot of options in your actual resort, you have to remember that. And there's some other properties that don't have as many, which are situated in locations which just aren't going to be nearby other stay and play locations, as we would call them. For example, Sandals McGreal, it has a good number of options, but it's going to be less than half of a lot of the resorts in terms of quantity of dining options. And it's going to be a couple hours drive to any other property from there, so you're probably going to be staying in your resort. But with this, do know that just because there is lesser quantity of culinary options, it doesn't necessarily mean the quality is reduced. For example, I think the French restaurant at Sandals World Plantation is some of the best food that exists in the whole portfolio, even though the resort is older, even though it's more classical, even though it hasn't been refurbished in the same sort of way as a lot of the newer properties. So just know that, again, that experience can vary based off of what you're looking for. If you're someone that wants to have the coolest, the newest kind of hip, trendy culinary possibilities, then of course you're going to want to head somewhere like Sandals Dunn's River, Sandals St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sandals Royal Curaçao, the newer properties where you get all of those available and you get some really cool new modern innovations. But if you're someone that you just want a really great experience, you'd rather a smaller, quiet vibe, but you do want to have quality food but don't care about having a ton of different options, again, that is very possible as well. So again, that is why we say there's a whole spectrum here where what's right for one person might not be right for the next. And if I was to focus on anything in this video and pull just one message out of this video, that is what it is. It's the personalization of finding what is best for you. Next, the Sandals experience is about the people. Yes, the people are the magic. They're the heartbeat of what happens there in the resort. And of course, how the people are directly impact your stay. The chairman of Sandals, he speaks a lot about this often, which is, you could have the best resorts out there, but without the people, it's nothing. And that is so important. Even properties that historically used to be a little bit subpar on the quality aspect often made up for it when it came to the service. And now, when you can have the best of both, you can have amazing properties and amazing service combined. Well, that's the best of two worlds combined. But if you are not someone that has been to the Caribbean before or haven't experienced multiple islands, then of course you have the uniqueness throughout the Caribbean. But all throughout the Caribbean, you find this friendly warmth that is welcoming, and they're so excited to bring you into their island, to show you their culture, to allow you to sample their food, and of course invite you to come back over and over and over. And the people really make it. If you watch the entertainment in the evening, you can feel this. If you have a chat with your server at the restaurant, get to know them and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Of course, the butlers are a great thing for this. A lot of people connect very personally with the butlers. And some people come and request the same butlers year after year after year. And of course, that's something to definitely think about. If you have a great butler, you can always go back and request them. So those connections made between management, between resort, even like Sandals World Plantation, this little resort we talked about, I think 2 times already in this video. I love that property, even though it's not modern, because the service is so good there. The general manager, even he walks around the resort and knows everyone by name from the moment they arrive, meets them, and every time he passes them, good day, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, how are you doing? It's mind-boggling to me. I'm great with faces, faces, not with names, but he has it down. So there's just so many aspects of the service, of the people element across these properties that make it such an amazing opportunity for a vacation. And that's what, in my opinion, is the predominant reason why the memories are as strong as they are and why people want to come over and over and over again to this vacation. With people as well, of course, that does include the guests. So happy guests equal happy environment. And in general, you see very few unhappy guests. Most people that are coming to Sandals are coming to celebrate something amazing. And families as well, coming to be together when they're coming to beaches. So whether you're coming for a baby moon, a honeymoon, an anniversary, celebrating retirement, a work trip, whatever it might be, I would say 90% of people there are celebrating something, whether it's celebrating continuance of life or celebrating a big milestone. When you are celebrating in that celebratory mood, that positivity, it exudes and it bubbles over and it affects the environment around you. And that's one of the amazing things. You see so many honeymooners who are in love and it creates this romantic atmosphere. And so that's a really great thing as well when you have not only positive staff and great people working in the brand, and of course, when you have a huge brand with thousands and thousands of team members, yes, you are going to have a few disgruntled people here and there. It's going to happen with any organization on this planet. But in general, you're going to find that happy guests, happy staff, happy experience. Moving on from people, but keeping with the related topic, I would also say that the Sandals experience and beaches experience, it is great for those that want to socialize, but also great for those that really just want to be together and be secluded on their own. And I would say that really goes for any of the properties. Yes, you have properties which are more lively and you have properties which are more quiet. But at the end of the day, you're going to see that it's not such a big deal, because if you do have your own personal preference there in terms of how you wish to interact, you can do that. If you want to go and party every night and find karaoke and go to the silent headphone party and dance with strangers, you can absolutely do that. If you want to go and simply just snuggle up with your brand new spouse in a nice over-the-water hammock there on the beach, you can do that as well. So you have the opportunity to make the stay your style. And that's one of the nice things about Sandals and Beaches is there are so many options. You don't have to do anything. If you're not someone that drinks, there's plenty of other things to do. If you're not someone that does water sports, there's plenty of other things to do. Even if you're not someone that loves sand or a beach, there's still plenty of things to do. And that is the nice thing, is you can have your cake and eat it too. Continuing from there, I should mention that all-inclusive is really about maximizing your own desires, not trying to maximize every single element. People that spend the time trying to make sure they've tried every single thing just to get their money's worth, they're going to be stressed and they're going to leave as stressed as they came. It's not the way to have a relaxing vacation. So find what's important to you, and what's important to you, you just pour your time into that. So again, if you are someone that loves every single day, you want to go snorkeling or scuba diving, right? You can do that, but don't feel like you have to do those things, because there's so many things that honestly, you couldn't really try everything if you even wanted to at most of the properties, and especially the larger properties. So just know that each resort, even though it's going to have its own vibe, right? You also have your own vibe as an individual, and you can come and you can customize that within how you take advantage of the all-inclusive program yourself. All right, 3 more quick things and we're done. The first one is no resort is perfect, and that's okay. Those that are often in pursuit of perfection are going to be those that have the less than great time. So go and just realize that, you know what, every little thing is gonna be all right. In the famous Bob Marley Caribbean vibe, of course. And just go and have a great stay. Perfection is something which Sandals goes for and would love your feedback, but just try to be in the moment and relax in your vacation, and that's when you're gonna have truly a great time. That leads to point number 2, that island time is a real thing, and that's the truth. We're talking about truth here in this video. That is the truth. Things go a little bit slower. The heartbeat of the Caribbean, it pumps at a little bit different speed than if you're someone that lives in Chicago and New York. And so do remember that. If you're someone that comes from a very busy lifestyle and you're coming and trying to have that same busy mentality inside one of the resorts, you might be frustrated because things might take a little bit longer than you're used to. So I recommend checking all of that literally with your baggage, and don't pick that up until you leave the island, and just go and relax and realize that things do run a little bit slower, a little bit more smoothly, and that's all part of the Caribbean experience. And you can embrace that, and if you do, you'll have a stellar time. And the last truth I want to share is that I personally have fell in love with this brand, and here's why. So long story short, I used to own travel agencies that were actually in Europe. So you might even tell I've tried to re-Americanize my accent, but I spent over half my life abroad, even though I live now in the USA, but of course spent a lot of time at our Jamaican office as well. And with this, one of the things I learned when I was selling everything to travel agencies in Europe was that you can never be great at everything. You should find specialization. And I realized quickly that I was very interested in the all-inclusive space, and so I started doing audits, and I realized the Caribbean was a particular passion of mine. And I went to a lot of the islands like Jamaica, St. Lucia, and I audited nearly every 3, 4, and 5-star resort brand that was out there. And I compared them side by side to see what was up and what was really worth putting my time into. I didn't want to partner with a brand that couldn't offer a quality experience. And in terms of how I was comparing and how I was analyzing everything, Sandals Resorts came out far on top. And this was almost a decade ago. And at that point, if I would have known then what I know now in terms of what came in the future, well, let me just say that would have been the easiest choice I ever made. And here, a decade later, I'm still very thankful I made that decision. And every time that we hear the amazing stories from all of you who go and have such an amazing time, it is just yet another affirmation as to why that was the right choice. And that is why at Reliant Destinations, we only work with Sandals and Beaches. That means, yes, we lose a lot of money every year. We lose a lot of money because people come to us, say, hey, can you book this? Can you do this? And we simply say, you know what? Thank you so much for thinking of this, thinking of us. But unfortunately, that's not something that we do. And that's because we want to put all of our energy and focus into helping our guests have the best Sandals and Beaches experience. So thank you very much for stopping by this video. I hope that you learned something or at least had some inspiration in some sort of way. Again, any way we can be of help, please do reach out. That's hello@reliantdestinations.com. And of course, do make sure to try those new tools, particularly 𝗏𝗏𝗏, the new Sandals and Beaches AI chatbot on our website. We hope to see you back here very, very soon. And of course, anytime that you're in resort, do keep an eye out because I am in the resorts often and I would love to meet you. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you back here on the channel very, very soon. Take care.